G'day guys, Jose here. Gonna do some extra chill time with Jose today. Discuss a bit of an issue that I spotted today between Darkviper and Asmongold. So basically what happened today is that Darkviper had called out Asmongold for reacting to his, not reacting to his content, but reacting to his video about Asmongold doing reaction videos and getting money off of it, but not providing any revenue to the people he was reacting to. So basically, it's the age-old argument between content creators where a larger content creator reacts to their content and generates views and more revenue and while watching someone else's content and doesn't actually give any revenue to them. Now, I'm not going to say Asmongold is a person that does that. Like, Asmongold does, give back to his revenue dudes as well, as we see in this website tweet here. But so what's happened is that Darkviper has basically exposed Asmongold, as per se, about his little grift, as he calls it. He calls it a little grift. I'm not sure why he calls it a grift. Let me just move this sort of right so you guys can see the full tweet. But so he reveals it about his videos that 2 seconds, move it up there. That's so you guys see my tabs. But he reveals that Asmongold does this and that to get more and more views on his channel, on his YouTube channel, and so essentially what he does, he basically manipulates small content creators, gives them a big exposure, he gets the money, and then the content creator that he's watching will have to do the work and try to convert these people into subscribers to them and watching their videos instead. Now, that's the cynical point of view, okay? That's the cynical point of view. So we're going to look at both arguments of it as well. First off, we're going to address the cynical point of argument. We're going to address the exposure dollars kind of argument. So a lot of guys who handle brands and sponsorships and stuff like that know all about exposure dollars and artists as well. So the concept of exposure dollars is basically what happens is that people will go, we'll pay you in promoting you, and that's it. We won't pay you any actual dollars. We'll pay you in promotion. And there's a lot of people who try to address the argument, and it never really works because obviously exposure dollars does not pay your bills. And let's talk about that first of all. So first of all, we can talk about that. Is that Darkviper is clearly pissed off that he basically promoted a few people's videos, including his own, without getting any revenue from it. So Asmon obviously responds saying, yes, quite disappointed, but yeah, if I've taken any of your videos, I'll refund you 100%. Now, a lot of people tend to forget, they go to the promotion argument and be like, but he gets exposed and they get extra subs because of it. It's like, it doesn't work like that, because if you can't convert them to watch your videos, you actually get no money out of it. So let's just give an example. Let's just say Darkviper is a small content creator, because he isn't. Let's just say for some reason Volty comes up, but I don't want to get into that. I suggest you. Let's say a small content creator creates his own content, general interest about WoW, and Asmongold, one of his viewers are like, oh, Asmon, watches this is really good insight into WoW and stuff like that. And Asmon watches it because Asmon's like, servers are down, got nothing else to do, might as well watch to it. My viewers are bugging me, let's watch it. And let's just say, his YouTube goes, guys, he's got editors as well, like, oh, let's highlight this. This is a really good video. I'll put it on his YouTube channel. And let's just say it gets like 300k views and Asmongold gets like a mint off it or whatever. And then the other content creator gets nothing. Like, if the other content creator gets a boost in promotion, which is basically dies off afterwards when he's not promoted by Asmongold anymore, and it's more of the work of the smaller streamer to convert these people rather than the bigger streamer who basically reacted to their content. So it is a lot harder to convert. And then what happens is that if they can't convert in the end, or it just doesn't happen, like the viewers just go back to Asmongold regardless, then what happens is that the guy gets a small jump and gets nothing out of it, despite it's being his content that was consumed. And you know what I'm getting at. His content's being consumed via another channel instead of getting it by himself, he could promote it by himself as well. So there's a lot of arguments to this as well, and that's the concept of exposure bugs, where people go, oh, you got exposure, so that's good enough for you, even though it doesn't pay for any bills, and the bigger content creator has pretty much taken the lion's share of your potential take as well. Now, there's multiple ways that you can do it, multiple ways that you can, try to say exposure dollars is a lot. Like FaZe and Tfue, they had this kind of deal as well, where the FaZe fanboys, as we call them fanboys because they are really fanning it, we're saying that, Tfue got promoted by FaZe, so FaZe deserves something. it's kind of like that argument. So if you're on the Tfue side of the argument, but on the Asmongold side of the argument here, you're actually conflating two different opposition points based on what's happened. You're actually not sticking by your principles. You're actually abandoning your principles here in this instance. Now, what I'm saying here for Asmongold here, I reckon, Asmongold's a good actor in this area. Like, I don't think he's one of those guys that react to videos and don't give anything to anyone else. And that's why I probably want to bring up the subject. I don't want to really just drag on Asmongold or drag on Darkviper because, these two are very good actors. Like, they're very in-faith actors. Actually, Darkviper does have a bit of a grudge against Asmon. Not sure why, considering there's so many other content creators that do create content, that react content, and don't even pay the people that they watch, pretty much. So we'll go on. We'll go on to discuss an argument. And this guy, Anon, he does another separate tweet subject, and he describes the exposure argument pretty much perfectly, and how its downfall is that, most channels that are boosted by giant react channels die just as quickly as they grew, even though their content didn't change. React channel just moved on to another channel. So that's what pretty much happens, is that once Asmongold goes to like another channel, like for example, let's just say he's a bad actor, which he isn't, then the channel that, grew from it, no one watches their videos again. Okay, it's up to that person to convert it. If they're unable to convert it, which is like the life of a content creator, Asmon's made his money, he's gone off elsewhere to another react channel, and they get their little boost instead. And someone actually said in one of the threads that Asmon should charge for this service, and they should be thankful that he doesn't charge for this service. I'm like, well, the charge is kind of built in where he gets revenue out of it, that kind of thing. And you can't be like charge and then he gets revenue out of it as well. Like you can't have your cake and eat it too. That's the sort of argument that someone will rebut like that. So now he goes to the exposure argument, blah blah blah. 9% of new followers caught by a rectangle just there for the hype, and the content will be always known to the channel who boosted X Y Z but died afterwards, and not a genuine creator trip to success and own. Even if you're one of the lucky ones that really creative because of that, you're always expected to be grateful, even if you criticize React channel because you would have made it without them. That's the same kind of argument that the FaZe fanboys brought up, saying that Tfue would have never made it without FaZe, okay? So that's the kind of argument, that Anon's really discussed, is that FaZe v Tfue kind of thing. That Tfue would have never blown up if it wasn't for FaZe, and vice versa. And you can also say that, with Asmongold, maybe this content creator would never blown up without Asmongold. And one person they referred to is Hype Danger, I believe his name is. And they say that he would never blown up with Asmongold and stuff like that. And, that's kind of a false dichotomy. Like, he should be ever thankful, stuff like that. And he encapsulates that argument in particular, the cynical point of view that when content creators review other people's content, that the little guy is essentially getting robbed. And in some instances, that is the case. But with Asmongold, as you guys saw in the first slide, basically, he basically does, if you say, don't watch my content, or, can I have some revenue from that, he's open to willing to negotiate with you. To be honest, though, I reckon that should be negotiated before, but sometimes it's not absolutely perfect because, you got Asmongold viewers. Asmongold is like 40k viewers, and they're probably like tugging at his shirt going, oh, Asmongold, watch this video. Oh, Asmongold, watch this video. Oh, Asmongold, you wouldn't believe who did this, and stuff like that. So this is where, where I'm going to start, well, let's just start giving you, ideas of it as well. So look at this YouTube channel. Asmongold reacts, every say here, there's even XQC, there's Asmongold Force Watch videos, and you can see here, basically, there's a whole bunch of channels on YouTube, even some of the Asmongold related and stuff like that basically abuse this sort of thing, where they have, react channels of big streamers, and they put it on YouTube for some quick monetization. So I'm going to tell you guys now that it's not just Asmongold that does this, there's a whole bunch of people. Like, for example, one of the guys in here, being Cat Danny, who's in one of the threads defending this sort of conduct, he does a similar thing as well, where, he posts content because he edits for Asmongold under, a combined page. Obviously, it must have some kind of agreement where he gets some and Asmon gets some, and that's pretty much it. So, that's the sort of thing that you got to really look at of that argument, is that the cynical thing is that a lot of reaction channels do this already, and it's not just Asmongold, in my opinion. And this is where, like, it's like, hang on, shouldn't the little guy who created the content get something? But I did notice in one of his vids, that Asmongold does promote the person, okay? And he does have this disclaimer as well. Someone said this disclaimer was, it was false. Like, they didn't act on it, which was faulty. But I'm not going to talk about that, because faulty, there's more complexities in that, as you know. And there's a lot of content that faulty does that everyone else has done. But I don't want to get involved with that. That's pointless. We don't know. And whatever. But, he does have these little things here where he promotes himself, where he helps promote the person as well, even though it's just for internet historian who's already a big content creator in himself. But, you also, Kat Danny's, of course, I said, is channel editor for it. And, you can also talk to Asmongold right here to do your thing. And so someone said he can potentially charge for it as well. So next up, we're going to get to the good side of the argument, why this is a good thing, this exposure dollars kind of thing. We've already talked about all the bad side of the exposure dollars. Talk about the good side, because everyone's here for a good side, okay? So Asmongold responded. He said, shame, blah, blah, didn't promote your video. I think that's a bit sarcastically, because I don't think you want to promote a video that literally criticizes you. I don't think anyone watches a video, masochistically to tell themselves that they're a grifter and a scam artist and they're the worst person in the world and they're literally the fucking devil. I don't think anyone would ever, want to promote and watch a video like that unless they've got some masochistic bone in their body. So, so essentially what they're talking about this argument, as I talked about before, is not the burden on them to request. You should be doing it as a revenue share kind of thing. So it's of course not something I do. I chose what I can. I believe you can have a positive symbiotic relationship with original content as not harmful to creators. So what Asmongold is trying to say is that the relationship between the creators can be, it can be a collab potentially between these two creators, and he could further promote them as well if he enjoys their content. And this is the less cynical approach, obviously, where it's exposure bucks in a way, but exposure bucks in is as a hand pass to the person being like, okay, I promote you, and since I've promoted you, you might be able to convert some of my guys to watch your content on the side. And there's a lot of logic to that as well. It's like a lot of the people who view my channel and other people's channels are also, also consume content from Asmongold. For example, one person on my channel, for example, is Snooks. Snooker watches a lot of Asmongold. He watches him play Dark Souls 3, Sekiro, and many other games as well. And he comes into my channel talking about, Asmongold, clips from Asmongold, and he comes to my channel and watches it as well. So he's part of both communities at the same time. And this is where the self-promotion thing comes in as well. When people complain about self-promotion, you can kind of promote each other through it as well. And kind of, Twitch is a giant network. It's a giant network that you need to network with people in order to grow and improve, because a lot of people are part of multiple different communities, and you can't just have your own community and they can't join anyone else, because Twitch doesn't work like that, because you can't be on 24/7. So this is what Asmon probably gets into it. And Mike, one of the guys here, actually puts a pretty decent argument that exposure is pretty good. He could say the cost of advertising, but at the same time, Mike kind of forgets the cynical side of the argument that, sometimes that they lose it afterwards and they can't convert and the streamer goes on elsewhere. But it could be good as well. Exposure has a few guys who've, Asmon have reacted to have grown considerably, being Uber Danger for one example, and a few others as well. And they've grown in their own regards because they converted converted the audience over to consuming their content, as well as Asmongold's, okay? What I'm trying to say here is Asmongold's argument is more of a wholesome approach, saying that, of course my viewers are going to watch someone else, so why don't I share their love all together? So see what I find cool, they find cool, kind of thing. And I kind of, warm up to this aspect of it as well, because, myself as a content creator, so many of my guys can tell me, oh, go host this guy, or go host this guy, or host this guy instead. They kind of, lead me to different content creators. And some of the content creators also grade me as well, being, Tack Life, Odie, and a few others and stuff like that as well. And I do kind of agree with this approach. Now, so there's the reason why some people are reacting pretty negatively to this as well is because he doesn't ask content creators before he reacts. Now, this is where I defend Asmongold, and this is when my back spasms for no reason. But Asmongold probably gets told when he has like 20k, 40k viewers, they're like, oh my god, have you reacted to this video? Oh, have you reacted to this video? Here's the link. And like by the time Asmongold's watched it, he can't really contact the channel creator. All what he can do is edit and promote, because he's basically he gets told by his viewers. Snooks does it to me as well. Like, even though I'm a tiny content creator compared to him, Snooky goes, oh, did you see XQC do this? Do you see Soda Popper do this? And do you think, I get the time to be like, oh, let's promote them and stuff like that? Probably not. It's like a split-second reaction, and we watch the video instead. So like Asmongold says, we'll watch this video in 7 days, it's that kind of thing, so we can organize a reaction video kind of thing. But maybe that can be doable in the future. Maybe it can be a kind of thing where a person might premiere a video and, to organize Asmongold or a few others to react to it, to give their honest critique to it. They already do that in the media industry already with with Valorant, say Richard Lewis got an advanced copy as well, and they've already done that as well. And I think this might be the way going forward. Like, I would say the cynical side of the argument is probably for someone who's more closed in and stuff like that, and for kind of the darker side of the reacts. I don't think Asmongold's like that at all. I think Asmongold's more of the stand-up guys, and I think Darkviper's little grudge, it seems to be, against Asmongold is kind of not really warranted. It's a good discussion to bring, of course, but it seems like he's like on a crusade to really label Asmongold as this like cheating, grifting guy when he's completely not. Like, he's completely different, completely different person altogether. And it's like, I'm not blowing sand up his ass basically, but through his actions, he hasn't shown to be that kind of guy. That he's a complete dickhead and is just basically greedy for money. He's kind of a more wholesome approach to make sure everyone's doing well, and that fuckwits that are in the industry stay out of the industry, and the people who are more vulnerable are protected, basically, kind of thing. And not like, kind of a hero kind of thing, white knight kind of thing, but keeping the community safe and awesome, that kind of way. And that's why I warm up to this side of the argument that he's actually exposing them, even though it is exposure dollars as per se, but it's not the same concept as the artist when you pay for like an icon or emoticon that the transaction finishes there. If the small content creator actually has a chance to convert people over, to their content to consume it, while the artist really doesn't, if you get what I mean. Because they're not, don't have the only content they have is their art and emoticons, and the viewers may not be interested in that as per se, like more interested compared to the video content. And that's my argument of distinguishing the two differences. But overall, this is a kind of interesting debate to have. What's your take on it? Like, what do you guys think? You guys think the cynical side is probably the more favorable one? That you just gotta have to hide. You gotta basically pay up. Don't big content creators do this all the time, where they exploit smaller content creators to get their own content, and it's kind of seen as no effort content. Or do you feel like it's a kind of a charitable boost where basically bigger content creators can essentially start charging in the future to boost these smaller content creators with just a little jab to the to the arm to give them essentially a chance if they can be a big content creator themselves. What do you guys feel? Just leave comments in the section below, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. And I'm Jose, and see you guys later. Peace out.